Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Lisa Renee TV. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so today before you leave. Make sure to thumbs up the video if you like what you see, and to share on all your social media networking sites that you happen to be on at this time. Hello and welcome back. Any newbies, welcome to the wonderful world of Lisa Renee TV and welcome to being a part of the Flavor Crew. Yes, that's the name that I give all my wonderful subscribers. So you are now a part of the Flavor Crew if you decide to subscribe. All right. So with that being said, let's hop into this video today. All right. So guys, this video came from a video that I saw on YouTube a few days ago. And it was an interview by a newscaster from WJZ. It's a station in Maryland. And he was interviewing five African American women. And he was talking to them about witchcraft. And I just found it so astonishing because basically these were five women that were formerly in the church, like they were in, Baptist churches, Christian, and, things of that. I think one of them was like Anglican, in the Anglican church. But nevertheless, they all had a Christian, Baptist background, and now they had turned to witchcraft. So, apparently, the theme of his story that he was doing was that a lot of black women in Maryland and all over the nation are leaving traditional, Christian churches and traditional churches in general for witchcraft, which is something that, I myself was unaware of. And they say a spiritual belief that connects them to their ancestors and puts them in control of their own well-being. And they accept and embrace the term witch and witchcraft. So they have no problem with you referring to them as a witch. So one of the women, when he asked them, were they indeed witches, she says, well, I'm whatever the situation calls for. So if you come to me with pleasantries, then I'm Glinda the Good Witch. If you're a negative person, then I'm Eveline. I'm your worst nightmare. So they feel that theirs is a truer example of worship that's inclusive of both genders, male and female. Now, all five of them, as I mentioned earlier, were once Baptists at some point, and they left the church in search of more meaning in their lives. And they say that they're just tapping back into what their ancestors did. And I just found it to be something that's different, and something really, really interesting. I do believe I'll have to do more research on it, but I do believe, back in times before us, in Africa, they did practice, speaking with the spirits and speaking with the ancestors. But of course, I did have to go to the good book and see what the good book had to say about when it comes to speaking with spirits and, mediums and, things of that nature. So when you turn to Leviticus 19:31, it says, do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. So, that right there is pretty straightforward about how God feels about when, you're out here seeking out something and, you're talking to these people who claim like I can speak to spirits, I can connect with the other side, and things of that nature. If you look at Leviticus 20:6, I will set my face against anyone who turns to mediums and spiritists to prostitute themselves by following them, and I will cut off from their people. So that right there, I mean, that's pretty serious. God is pretty serious about how he feels about us, trying to connect and fraternize with, these people who are, talking and speaking to the spirits. And there's another verse, couple of verses I'm going to read to you as well. Let me pull it up here. Okay, this is from Isaiah 8:19-22. So when someone tells you to consult mediums and spiritists who whisper and mutter, should not a people inquire of their God? Why consult the dead on behalf of the living? Consult God's instruction and the testimony of warning. If anyone does not speak according to this word, they have no light of dawn. Distressed and hungry, they will roam through the land. When they are famished, they will become enraged, and looking upward will curse their king and their God. Then they will look toward the earth and see only distress and darkness and fearful gloom, and they will be thrust into utter darkness. Again, that was Isaiah 8:19-22. So basically, I like how it says, well, when someone tells you to consult mediums and spiritists who whisper and mutter, should not a people inquire of their God? Why consult the dead on behalf of the living? So it's kind of, asking you a point blank question like, well, why didn't you just go to God? Like he's there, he's there, he's everywhere, he's with you at all points in time. Like, why didn't you just ask him, the same question that you're asking this human person who's claiming to have a connection to spirits, because I mean, you don't know, you don't know what's coming through there. You don't really know if it's true or not, so you have to be very, very careful. And as it relates to these women who have switched their religion and say, well, I don't want to be affiliated with, Christianity anymore, or going to, traditional Christian churches. I think I want to switch off to, witchcraft all of a sudden. To me, I was thinking, like, if they were having trouble with the church they were at, like if it was a thing of church hurt, and which is so common, right? With us, oh, I'm church hurt, I'm having trouble with these people, they broke my heart. I got into it with a clique at church, and they were, spouting out lies about me, and which is it's a serious thing. I'm taking it seriously. I'm not mocking anyone. I'm just saying in general, if it was a situation of that, like, you got church hurt, or you felt disconnected, because a few of these women mentioned like just not feeling connected at the church, and like the more they went to church, the older they got, the more disconnected they became. And I understand that. That's a real thing. So if that was the case, why didn't you just leave? Like, why didn't you just leave and go to another church? Like, I just felt like before they, decided to go and become witches, there were like so many other options before they went down that road. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like you went all the way to the bottom. Like, why did you choose witchcraft, all of a sudden? I mean, this is something foreign to you. You have no idea, what you're getting yourself into. I mean, you don't really know. You don't want to accidentally be doing a spell for good, even though they claim they do things for good. The traditions with the witchcraft that they use are for good. It very well may be, but you don't want to accidentally do something and you conjure up the wrong kind of spirit, and you're like, oh Lord, now I'm having all kind of negative vibes and energy around me. There's so much chaos in my world. Yeah, because you're kind of getting into this divination, and you messing with this spiritual, what do they call it? You messing with the spiritual stuff, and you shouldn't be messing with it. You get into it to this the spiritual side of things, and you may not really understand everything because it's outside of God, and so you may not really get every clue that you need to get, or get all the knowledge you need to get about it, and so you don't want to accidentally hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, so I mean there's like research you can do on it, but still I will be a little leery. Like, I don't know if I want to really dabble with that, because you don't know who you call on. You call on these ancestors, like, that you don't really know, and these other gods that they're praying to, because that's what they're doing. Like, they're talking to these other gods, and when it comes to God, like, he doesn't want other gods put before him, and not because he's so insecure, because it's not safe for you. That's the thing, you don't need to be putting other people, other gods ahead of him, and you going to these other people, because it's so confusing. It's confusing, and then you can't have two masters because you love one and hate the other. You know, that's another point too. But you have to be very careful when you mixing in when it comes to your spiritual self. You don't want to be going in and interlapping in between these different, customs and traditions, and I think people are just hurt and lost, and everybody is looking for the way. They're looking for the one true way that leads to Christ, that leads to God, it leads to being free, being saved, living a life of righteousness. Everybody's looking for that one path, right, to happiness. But I think people become dissatisfied with themselves. Sometimes they become dissatisfied with God because they feel like, well, God doesn't hear me. He's not listening to me. So let me try something else. I'm just going to try something else because I don't understand God. I don't really get, this whole thing of talking to him. Is he responds to me? Is he hearing me? Or I've had a slew of bad things happen to me lately. So I'm assuming I have fallen out of fellowship with him, that he no longer loves me. And so I'm going to try, I don't know, witchcraft. Let me just try it on for kicks. And that is not the way. And there's no need to do that. That there's no need to do that. And I feel like God was revealing to me about just staying on the straight and narrow, like staying on the straight path is the best path. It is. Like, there's so many people in search of something. And here's the thing, the devil can sense that. So he can sense that, and he will exploit that inside of you. He will. And it's best to stay close to God and work on seeking his face than man's. See, man's intent isn't always good. Even if it is, Satan can easily bamboozle the person that you're seeking out for answers. And now you're basing important life decisions on false demonic information. That's another thing. You don't really know what you're dabbling with, if you're going to talk to a spiritist, or, a medium, or, it's like you don't really know, a psychic, or whoever, that you're going to speak to. And the devil is crafty. Remember that. So always follow that sweet inner voice, because that's God speaking to you directly. He's trying to guide you. A lot of times we think God is not speaking, but the thing is not that he's not speaking, but it's that we're not listening. We're not listening, but sometimes we just have to find a moment of quiet time to get by ourselves, find some peace, for a moment. And we could be anywhere. It may be, walking through the park, at home, in our room, washing dishes in your kitchen, wherever, just find a moment so that you can get quiet and you can really hear what he's trying to say to you. Also watch for, like, after you ask God, or seek God out for something, like, watch signs around you, like, watch things, that happen sometimes. God will give you a vision on something, that'll be his answer, or just things will start to kind of, like, changing around you. Like, you just notice, stuff will start to falling in place. Like, and he'll speak sometimes through other people. Like, I've had times where God will answer my question on something through somebody else. I'm like, oh, now it makes sense, or I'll be wondering how something's going to work out, and all of a sudden, the answer just comes to me. It'd be like an email I get from somebody, or, a phone call, or, the stuff, just the puzzle pieces start fitting together perfectly. So just, pay attention, but you have to open yourself up to him, just open yourself up, make yourself more spiritually aware. So those are the things that I would suggest people work on as opposed to like going to witchcraft. I'm like, I don't think witchcraft is really gonna help you. Like you're looking for peace. That's what you're looking for. You feeling lost, and you just want a closer connection to God and maybe, with yourself too. So seeking God's face is going to be the answer, and try to go down the straight and narrow path. A lot of times people want to flip flop, and go all over the map, and a lot of times that's going to get you detoured. Okay, all that's going to lead to is a detoured road that's going to throw you off, and you're not going to get to where you're trying to go. I promise you. You know, I give you just one little quick story. It was years ago. A gentleman I used to be friends with, thank God we're not friends anymore. He was taking me home one night, and my house was literally less than 5 minutes away. All he had to do was go under the viaduct, and my house was like a couple of blocks up. He turns down this road because, like, he was good with going around our city, and so he was, really proud of it or whatever, which is fine. But it was just crazy because he turned down this block, and it's, kind of late, and I couldn't understand why is he making this off turn, and I'm like, my house is literally right there. Where are you going? Why are you turning down? And so he's making a detour, So then he goes down the block, and there's like these two women in the middle of the block, and like they throw glass at this guy's car, not his car, but this other man's car, So see, we running into while you making a detour, you running into danger, devilments, So I'm like, supposedly, could have threw something at your car or started something with us, And he was like, "Oh my God, did they just throw glass at that man's car?" I'm like, "Yeah, they probably did." I'm like, "That's what you get for going down here." So you see what I mean? When you make, wrong turns, and when you going down paths you don't need to go down, you run into unnecessary trouble, unnecessary danger. Sometimes it's best to just take the straight road home. You know, take the straight road home. Just take the straight road home. I've had that happen to me too, coming from the grocery store. I had an inkling to go down, just go straight down, the main road, and I turned off. And what did I run into? Construction. I'm like, oh my God, the road is blocked. So I had to turn around, and it just took me longer to get home. So, you will find your way. Whatever it is that you're searching for, you are going to find it. You're going to find it, and God will help you to find it. You're going to find it, but I doubt that it's going to be through the road of witchcraft. Like, I doubt it. I strongly doubt it. I'm not saying that these women are evil. I'm sure that they, may have some good intentions, and they just, I felt they're just searching for something, and they don't know quite how to get to it. But Lord is the way. And the Lord is the way. He's been the way for me. So I'm just telling you from my personal experience. But just work on trying to, strengthen your relationship with him, seeking him out, finding that time to be quiet, and just, get in his presence, and then you will get those answers that you were yearning for, so that we're not making those wrong turns, and, we're going off into the deep end, and we're going off on these wrong roads, and, we're coming to a blockade, we don't need that at all. But anyway, anyway, guys, I am so happy to be in front of you as always. That is all I have for you today. I want to hear what you guys think. What do you guys think about this craziness, this witchcraft? Like, do you all know anybody who, like, transitioned and switched, went from Christian to witch to, like, who knows? So let me know in the comments below. And you guys continue to be very, very blessed. And I will talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye.